Hello Reddit, I saw that there was a thread going on about the Tengwar and geeky Tolkien Elvish writing, and I thought I'd make a quick little video about how I've adapted it for note-taking in English, because I got really bored one day when I was a teenager, and it's stuck with me a little ever since because it makes people impressed if you start writing all weird. So, to start off, there's the basic mode where you put the vowels above the letters, something like this. Which says hello Reddit, and it's supposed to be a script. It's supposed to be connected and flowing together. You'll see it sometimes written very crudely, and even the vowels not placed properly over the letters, which can look okay, but it doesn't have the same sort of pizzazz that you'd find doing it properly. So there's also another mode where the vowels are actually put in line, and that is going to be the secret to putting together diphthongs, which was one of the questions on the thread. How do you combine vowels together, especially AE? Well, what I do is, you'll see that we have almost all the vowels here. A actually is just sort of a C, so if we were to do apple in this inline form, we'd do it like this. Since the E is silent, it's just a little dot underneath. There's a lot of tricks to this, but we have this little curve, which is the A, double P denoted by the line there, and then the L. Oh, that's not two L's. Silly me. We have the L and then the E following it. It doesn't work perfectly for English because English is not a phonetically perfect language. We say a lot of things that don't sound the way that they're written. And the languages that Tengwar was made for, the made-up languages by Tolkien, they do sound, they're phonetically consistent. They always sound the same, and every character always sounds like the sound it represents. So it's a lot more uniform, whereas adapting to English takes some creativity and a lot of extra work. So to get combined vowel sounds the way that I do it, if I wanted to do something that had two vowel sounds put together, like boing, then I would simply do a B and then an O with an I beneath it, and then there's like this is an NG character, which is another fun little character that you can use. So you just use the accented vowel above the inline vowel. So if you wanted to do an AE, the way I do it, it would look just like that. Now there's some charts that assign that to a different sound or a different character, but for an adaptation to English, this is consistent because you have your accented vowels A, E, I, O, and U. And then you have your inline vowels A, E, I, O, and U. You like how O and U are backwards? That's how old Christopher Tolkien does it. And so you can combine those to make any sort of put together vowel sound you want. And if you need to just stack vowels with the accented form, you put the short sounded vowel on one of these little guys and the long sounded vowel on one of these little guys. So if I'm ending like the word hello over here, this is a long one because the O says its name. It's a long O. Whereas if it was short, I would just do one of these little guys there instead. So that covers just about everything that I've done to adapt it to English. There's some other things that can make it a little easier or more difficult. For example, the S. S is a real pain to use in Tengwar. It's kind of this curvy 6 looking thing. But the problem is putting accented vowels on top of it or inside of it is just really awkward and difficult. If you want to do a U, then it flies out and looks different. So if you were to do, let's do the word blessed. So you've got your E and then trying to fit the S around it, or maybe it should go down here, gets really difficult. So what I tend to do for the S is I'll tend to cheat and just do a different character. There's this character that's sometimes used for Z, which is basically just two of those little guys, but put right in a row. So I'll do one of those. So blessed would look like this. B-L-E. And you can do one of those for two S's in blessed, or you can just start the S right down here and do like so. It's different enough from the other characters that it can work. So it takes some creativity to adapt it to using English, but as long as you're consistent with your own notes, it'll work, and it doesn't take too much for someone to figure out what it says. If you wanted to write a message to someone else, they would just need to know a couple of the little details. Some people I've even seen will just use, instead of doing E's accented above a character, they'll just use that silent E mark. There's also a silent A mark, which looks like that. You can deduce this from looking in the inside flaps of the Lord of the Rings or Silmarillion books. It's got it all there in all these different forms, and piecing it together can be a lot of fun. One last thing is that I mentioned before that the letters are consistent. They all have their own sound, and one thing that was really confusing to me at first was the difference between these two sounds. You have the sound TH and the sound DH, and they are both, in English, they're both TH, but it's how it's used. So there's TH as in the word think, and then there's TH as in the word other. One is a T, one is a stronger sound, the other is a slightly weaker sound, which is represented by the D here, and you'll see in the Tengwar that the T and the D are very nearly represented to one another. So think and other. One of them is a consonant type of sound, the other is a vowel type of sound that you can hold out, and that'll be the difference between those. You can see this in the Lord of the Rings, where you have the DH Tengwar character, or I guess Tengwa if you want to be really precise, and then you have the TH in others, and it was really confusing to me, and once I figured that out, it all started to make sense. So anyway, that's the end of that. If you're interested in more videos about Tengwar or more detailed description, then leave a comment below and let me know, and I'd be happy to throw something together.